Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. Welcome. We're already out of our minds with rage. Show hadn't even begun yet. I just can't take it. I can't take it.
Everything is upside down.
It is.
Everything is upside down.
We're being led by such lying sacks of crap that it makes it almost impossible to function.
That's not what Charlie Crist said.
Yeah, I know. Charlie Crist.
That is not what Charlie Crist said, my friend. Charlie Crist in an interview talked about the greatness of this administration.
Did he now?
And a previous administration.
Oh, my. Really?
Yeah.
Do we have that?
Yeah,
You're talking about the perks of Florida.
Sure.
I cover the White House normally. Will we be seeing you in Florida? Do you want President Biden to come and campaign with you?
Absolutely. Listen, look what Joe Biden's done for our President Biden, forgive me, has done for our country. He's been exceptional.
Oh.
Look what he's done for the world.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, what's happening in Ukraine, him bringing NATO together, new members to NATO, Finland, Sweden, it's remarkable. The
He
EU,
didn't bring them.
I mean, what other president could have done what he's done? He's been phenomenal. Gas prices are down.
Been phenomenal.
Gas prices are
Pause
down.
it for a second. Gas prices are down.
He's in the middle of telling you what a great president this is.
They're up $1.40 from where they were when he started.
And by the way, they're creeping back up again.
And they're going back up again.
Just as a side note.
387. What was it yesterday?
I don't remember what.
I don't
Rob
either.
has a different number, but I've been paying about around 330-ish.
Oh, yesterday I paid $4.39 again.
But I noticed
$4.39.
that it got down to 320 something, and then it's
Yep, it's going right back up. Yeah, they're going right back up. Gas prices. Look what he's done for us. Gas prices are down. No. I'm sorry. No. You can't send them sky high to record-breaking, all-time, highest ever prices. And then they backed off that price a little bit, and now you're claiming gas prices are down. What kind of moron is this guy?
He's not done.
Okay, good. I want to hear
It's
more.
trending down. Democracy is trending up.
Democracy?
I'm running against a guy who's against
pause. Democracy is trending up.
Democracy is trending up.
Show me that stat. Where do you see the democracy trending figures? I'd like to know where there's a chart.
Gets a special one he gets.
Okay, all right.
He gets because he's a congressman,
Right,
former
yeah,
governor,
yeah.
wants to be governor again.
Yeah, he sure does. Wow, he's bad. He's really bad. All right, let's see this.
Democracy. He doesn't support mail-in ballots. He doesn't support African Americans and their right to vote.
What?
Joe Biden
Of course he
supports
does.
all of that. He's a good
he's talking
man.
about DeSantis.
He's a great man. He's a great president. I can't wait for him to get down here. I need his help. I want his help. And he's
This
the
guy
best I've ever met.
sucks.
I know this man. He offered me his lunch when he was campaigning for me a couple of years ago down in Florida.
Oh, wow.
I only eat
That's
one meal a
beautiful.
day. I try to stay fit. I'm the quarterback
Okay.
for Wake Forest. But seriously, this man is a great man. Thank
But seriously,
God Joe Biden's
this-
the president.
this
of the United
man
States
is a
today.
great man.
Thank God for that.
All
And
right,
President
Congressman.
Obama before
Wow.
him. These are good people.
If you love him
We'll
so
see
much,
what
why don't you
offers
marry
us
him?
The next time when we are in Florida, he's there.
I can't. How is this guy ever a Republican? How? Come on.
He was a Republican, an independent, a Democrat, whatever he has to get to be in office. That's what
He's in love with the lying sack of crap Joe Biden,
Yeah, but
who
he-
lies every step of the way. Well, he offered him his lunch, though. But he offered him his lunch because he only eats once a day. He's trying
Well,
to
he
stay
tries to
fit.
stay fit.
Yeah. He's an old quarterback from Wake Forest. So I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I remember Charlie Crist
I know when he
from
said
back in the
that.
day.
I remember, and I also
Yeah.
remember when I was in Florida during Charlie Crist days. I forget what office he held at the time, but I remember him talking to me about Wake Forest because he was, wanting Elvis to go there.
Oh,
I remember him talking to me about Wake Forest at the time
yeah. Good thing.
as an alum.
Good thing Elvis didn't go
Yeah,
there.
no, we opted against that. Against the Wake Forest.
He might be the straw that broke the camel's back for Wake Forest football. So, congratulations on that, Charlie. Oh, That is outrageous. That's one of the worst rants I've ever seen, I think, on Joe Biden and Barack Obama.
These are good people.
Well, these are good people. Oh, my gosh. Again, you love them so much. Why don't you marry him? Why don't you marry him?
I just got done doing
say.
A quick search. I didn't, actually. But I was wondering, I hope we can find, maybe before the show is out, the democracy trend.
Oh, okay.
So we know if democracy is trending.
It's
actually trending up.
Democracy is trending up. Okay.
Actually, that
All right.
is some stupid chart.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that's incredible. That's just incredible. Now, yesterday, Joe Biden came out with the college loan relief. A little bit different, I think, than people thought, because it's percentage-based, right?
Sure.
But
Sure.
Here's what he had to say. Cut number 5, if you would, please. And it goes a little something like this.
My campaign for president, I made a commitment. That would provide student debt relief. Mm-hmm. And I'm honoring that commitment today.
You can't see.
Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced $20,000. Both of these targeted actions are for families who need it the most.
I thought you didn't pay back Pell Grants.
People hit especially hard during the pandemic.
Pause it for a second. Isn't it called a grant because it's
a grant? You don't have to pay it back. Yeah,
that you don't pay it back. People have to pay back Pell Grants. I thought that was a really attractive thing about a Pell Grant. You don't pay it back.
You get the grants, right?
Yeah, it's a grant.
It's grant money. That was always my fight between a grant money and study money. Study money, you have to produce something.
Yes.
You have to come up with a study. Grant, you just have to, Yeah,
Producer Rob just said
it.
he didn't have to pay. You got a Pell Grant, Rob? Yeah, and he didn't have to pay it back.
There you go.
So, Yeah, I mean, it's called a grant because it's a grant.
They're giving you the money.
I'm giving you the money. I'm not loaning it to you. I'm granting it to you.
Right.
Well, that's different. What do you mean you're giving $20,000 off on a Pell Grant? Should all be off, right?
Yeah,
you're done. You're done already. That's bizarre. That is weird stuff. All right. What else did he have to say?
A lot.
Under $125,000 a year. You make more than that, you don't qualify. No high-income individual or high-income household on top of the 5%, in the top 5% of incomes, by the way, will benefit from this action, period.
Okay, good. That's great. Yeah, they're cutting
So
off.
if you make more than $125,000 a year, you're in the top 5%? Is that true?
No. Well, is it? That can't be right.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I feel like that's a different number.
I don't know. It might be. It might be true. I thought it was higher than that, though, to be in the top 5%. Huh. So forget it. If you make more than 125. So is that household income? So that's two people making $65,000 a year. Sorry, you don't qualify. Even if you live in New York, because, $130,000 a year in New York, that barely gets you by.
Oh, yeah. Right. Well, just a quick top 5% income says that top 1% is over $588,000.
Okay. That's
top,
1%.
Top 5% is $265,000.
Okay, so he's wrong on 125 too.
Right.
What a douchebag. What an idiot. Oh, I can't take it. This is really hard today.
It gets better.
Good.
It gets
good.
better.
It's going to need to.
about it.
Otherwise, my head is going to blow off the shoulders. He's got
Just go in order. Just take
let's go 6. Talking about blacks and Hispanics.
The financial strain was much too high. About a third of the borrowers have debt but no degree, and worst of both worlds, debt and no degree.
Debt and no degree.
The burden is especially heavy on black and Hispanic borrowers, who on average have less family wealth to pay for it. They don't own their homes to borrow against to be able to.
Yeah, they don't own their homes. Now, he goes on talking about how he believes his plan is responsible and fair.
Oh, good. All right. Be cut 7,
no cut.
if I'm not mistaken.
No, I don't
There
want
isn't
cut
one.
7.
You don't
No,
want cut 7.
Not
I
cut
understand
7.
not everything I'm announcing today is going to make everybody happy. Something is too much. I find it interesting how some of my Republican friends who voted for those tax cuts and others think that we shouldn't be helping these folks. Something is too little.
What does that have to do with it?
But I believe my plan is responsible and fair. It focuses the benefit on middle class and working families. It helps both current and future borrowers, and will fix a badly broken system. And these actions
It won't
will
fix a badly
fix a
broken
damn
system.
thing.
to make college
It's not going
more
to fix a
affordable
thing.
in the first place. It includes unprecedented investments.
Why don't you go to
Nearly
pause it?
$6 billion.
Just stop. I can't. Oh. Why don't you go to the colleges themselves and have them lower their tuition rates? How about that?
They're looking into that.
Let's fix that broken system. The fact that they're charging people $60,000 a semester to go to college. Why don't you deal with that? Why don't you go to the stinking source? Why are they completely scot-free every stinking time? And we don't talk about it at all.
Okay, so I'm not going. You don't need to. The other longer clips that we have, you're not going to make it through.
No, I'm not.
You're not going to make it through.
No.
So let's just go to cut 7 at the end of his speech.
All right.
As he is shuffling out.
Mr. President, is this unfair to people who paid their student loans or chose not to take out loans?
Is it fair to people who, in fact, do not own multi-billion-dollar businesses? They see why these guys give them all a tax breaks? Is that fair?
What?
What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think? And then he gets pissed and walks. And then he gets pissed. What do you think? With that pissed look and then shuffles out.
Wow. First of all, is he the biggest a-hole president
Yes.
of all time?
Yes.
I mean, far exceeding Barack Obama.
Oh my God.
As much as I thought Barack Obama was an arrogant ass, he was
Nothing.
he was
Nothing to this guy.
Disneyland princesses compared to this guy.
Yes.
Wow, he's an a-hole. That is
Absolutely.
unbelievable. And this college, this debt forgiveness thing, people act as if this is absolutely owed to them that you cancel their debt. As if some bank loan manager tracked them down in their bedroom at home and forced them to borrow $200,000 so they could attend Harvard. I mean, couldn't they, you might be thinking, just have gone to a cheaper school or, I don't know, work their way through college or find a trade school or something? No, you hateful bigot. No, they couldn't. Okay. The Harvard enrollment rep threatened to kill their whole family if they didn't go there.
They did?
Yeah.
The Harvard cartel?
If they didn't take the loan that was being offered to them, their whole family was going to be killed. So, you see, they had no choice. They had no choice. It's not their fault.
I hadn't heard about the Harvard cartel
And it's not Harvard's fault either. Harvard must charge outrageous tuition fees. So must Yale and MIT and every other unaffordable university in this stinking country. They don't want to. They have to. You think books and professors are cheap? Do you? Do you think they are? They're not. Okay. So here's the thing. Shut up and pay higher tax rates. Okay. To pay off all these loans that they were forced to take out. And stop your whining before I come back there and give you something to whine about.
Don't make me pull this car over.
You miserable, selfish pig, you. You mean you don't want to pay off their debts? I shouldn't have to pay for someone else's education. Really? Okay, how about I send 87,000 IRS agents to your door? How about that? How about that? Would
That's
you
a
like
good
that?
idea. That's a good idea.
How about I civil asset forfeiture your house? Huh? The one you live in. Real suspicious that you got that without going to college. Yeah, this is where the IRS agents come in. Right here. Right here. So I don't want to hear you whining. Shut up and pay for their school, okay?
I mean, it's incredible.
Some of them didn't even graduate, so they don't even have degrees, and they wasted $100,000. And that's your fault, because you're successful and they're not. So
the argument, is it fair to the other people that have paid it off or who are paying it off? Is it fair to them? Is it fair that the billionaires don't pay enough taxes in his eyes? That was his answer, right?
Yes, that was his answer. Yeah. Is it fair that billionaires with businesses pay less taxes or something than somebody with no business? What? I don't even know what point you're making there. It's just asinine.
Right.
It's another Marxist point that nobody should be successful in their business. And if they are, then they got to be penalized with higher tax rates.
Right.
Look, if 44% isn't enough, then I don't know what to tell you, because what is enough? Seriously, 44% tax rate on federal taxes alone. Then you got the state taxes in most states, except for 9 of them. You got local taxes like New York. I mean, in New York,
oh my gosh,
if you're making a lot of money, you're paying 55% to 60% tax rate. Is that enough? Is that fair?
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. And we don't even know how much this is actually going to cost, right? I mean, they trounced out Susan Rice and asked Susan, hey, how much is this actually going to cost?
How much will this cost? How much will Americans have to pay on this price tag overall?
Well, that remains to be determined, and it will be a function of what percentage of eligible borrowers actually take up this opportunity.
300 billion?
We'll see when they take up the opportunity. We'll be able to give you a much better sense
but are
of
those
that.
numbers ballpark at this point?
I think it depends on the numbers.
$1 trillion?
Like,
$5 trillion?
Unfortunately, and we're
What's
here
enough?
to encourage as many people to take it up as possible. If 43 million borrowers take it up, that'll be different than if 50% of those 43 million take it up.
There you go. It's just that simple. There you go.
So I'm sorry, is that a yes or a no? Is that I don't know. How much was that? I don't, they're not going to tell us. They are not going to tell us.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, I can only handle this once, so I didn't watch it yesterday because I knew I'd go out of my mind.
Oh man!
I mean, I knew he did it, but I couldn't watch it because I couldn't even take it once actually. So, wow.
Now he did say in the speech, there's a clip that we haven't played where he said, you talked about holding the colleges accountable outside of the Harvard cartel.
All right, let's
hear it.
And
he talks about holding colleges accountable.
Does he now? All right.
So,
and one more big change we're making to the system is we're holding colleges accountable for jacking up costs without delivering value.
Does he have monkeypox? What's going on with his nose? Go back to the video. What's happening with this? Has got monkeypox started or something?
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, it's mostly men who have sex with men, and I'm not putting that past him, frankly.
Go ahead.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Go ahead with the video.
All right.
Students. We've all heard of those schools luring students with a promise of big paychecks when they graduate, only to watch these students be ripped off and left with mountains of debt. My predecessors looked the other way, for some reason, good reason, to do anything about this fraud. My administration is taking it on. For example, the Department of Education works with private education associations.
Pause it. Is he talking about the exalted Obama as well? And when he talks about his predecessors ignored this?
So.
Is that criticism
I guess so.
of the exalted Obama? Oh, wow. That's unacceptable, isn't it?
He's getting a little bit too big for his britches.
Yes, he is. It's time Barack show up at the White House again.
That's right.
Put him back in his place a little bit. Like he did last time when he ignored him completely at every turn. Turned his back to him and wouldn't acknowledge him.
Didn't acknowledge zero.
Barack. And Barack's just ignoring him, talking to other people.
Awesome.
Barack.
Awesome. Don't make him come back to the White House again.
He's going to now. Now he's gonna come back and slap him down. All right, let's do the rest of this.
To accredited colleges and universities so they can receive federal aid.
Right.
Well, last week the Department of Education fired a college accreditor that allowed colleges like ITT and Corinthian to defraud borrowers. And combined with our emergency actions, the Public Service Forgiveness Program and other actions we've taken, we've been able to cancel more than $32 billion in student debt for 1.6 million borrowers, including those defrauded by these bad acting schools.
Okay, well,
Our
that's
goal
different.
is to shine a light on the worst actors so students can avoid these debt traps.
I'm sure. Well, look, that's different though. If I'm not sure what ITD or Corinthians did, but I'm sure that they went against what they said, hey, we're offering you this, you pay us the money, we'll get you the loans, and then we'll give you this if you go to school with us or take our classes, right? And they didn't provide that, so they're defrauding their students. And that does happen. But that's different than paying off a student who took out a loan to go to college.
Who took out a loan from the federal
and
government.
went to school.
Which they're all from the federal government now, right?
Yeah.
Aren't all college loans, don't they come from the federal government? I believe they do now.
Yeah.
And so, that's a different deal. Most of these kids did this willingly, did this of their own volition. You're talking about young adults now. You're talking about 18-year-olds who take on this debt. Now, are they young? Yes. But are they completely devoid of any sense? I hope not. They shouldn't be. They should be able to determine whether or not they want to take out a loan for $100,000 or $200,000, depending on where you're going to school. There are cheaper schools you can go to that are really good. I don't know if one comes to mind, BYU, but even their out-of-state tuition rate is way lower than most any other quality college in America. Even their non-Mormon out-of-state tuition is going to beat almost every other college in this country. And you get a great education there. If you don't want to go to BYU, there's Heritage, there's all kinds, there's Liberty, there are trade schools. There are places you can go where you don't have to take out massive debt in order to attend and get a degree. You don't have to. And what happened to working your way, working during high school years, saving that money and then using it to go to college? What happened to that?
Oh,
that's completely out of the question now. It's like, what? What planet are you from? Wait, I work during high school? No, I can't do that. In fact, I got into radio initially to pay for college. But then it became, a career that I was making money from. And so I just continued in it. I thought, why go to college now? I've got a career and I'm making money. So what the heck? I'm going to keep going.
Now how much do you regret
Now how much? Oh, man. Do I ever wish I would have taken out $200,000 worth of debt and gone to Harvard instead? Like I could have gone to Harvard. But still, if I'd wanted to.
I could have. So,
but
what he's talking about is
agonizing here.
ITT closed in 2016. So the Education Department approves a $3.9 billion group discharge for 208,000 borrowers who attended ITT. So they don't have to pay any of that. That's all.
ITT technical or something?
Yeah. And
it's a tech school or something?
They're going after, DeVry.
Oh, really?
And you're talking about Corinthians are going with this. So down here at the bottom the numbers are
these places like University of Phoenix and all that stuff?
I guess
School for working adults.
Nearly so far. Today's actions, and this is dated a week or two ago. Today's action are part of the Biden-Harris administration's broader efforts to ensure better implementation of the student loan programs to get students and borrowers the benefits to which they are entitled, including loan forgiveness. So nearly $32 billion in student loan relief approved to date.
Wow.
So, this student loan stuff, it's not really forgiveness. It's just a transfer, right?
It's a transfer, yes. Yeah, you transferred the burden
the money. Who pays?
From them to us.
Who pays? It's poof.
It's us. We
it doesn't
pay.
make it just go away.
No, it doesn't just go away. No, we have to
Which
pay
I'm
for
not
that.
opposed to making all debt go away. by the way.
All debt, period?
Yes.
Yeah, all debt, just gone. Yeah.
Let's
That'd be nice.
Reset.
That'd be nice. Let's
I
reset.
think the great reset.
I don't
That's
have a
my
mortgage
great
anymore.
reset. Everyone
that.
goes back to zero.
I like it. Let's
where
do it.
you're at now, where you're at, go.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm for that.
If that pays off my house, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you start from zero.
I mean, how could
what
you
have
not
now.
like that? I mean, if there's no strings attached, and let's say socialism and communism don't exist, and you just decide, all right, the government's going to do it for us.
Start from zero.
They're just going to eliminate your debt. Your mortgage is paid. Oh, who wouldn't say okay to that? Okay. All right. I no strings attached? Really? You're not going to come back at me and demand something in return?
I would like a little bit of heads up so I could go get a different house. But I'm all for it.
No, you'll take what you got and you'll be happy. Yeah, shut up. Jeez. Why not do that? Why not do that? Why not just cancel all debt?
Amen.
Wouldn't that be fair?
Amen.
I guess all debt on everybody making $125,000 or less. All debt, all your debt is gone. We're not transferring it to anybody else. It's just eliminated. Don't worry about it. Oh, well, that'd be nice. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice.
Unfortunately, we don't live in fantasy land like that. We don't live in Never Never Land.
That would be awesome.
But it would be awesome. It really would.
Yes, it would.
Jeez, I can't.
That would be awesome. There's some great clips where Ducey and what is it, JPK or KPJ or KJP or whatever the hell her name is,
KJP,
the owner of the Great Big Book of Everything, talk about student loan handouts, and she's great.
Oh, she's awesome. Yeah,
she's
I love
great.
her.
And so
I love
I don't
KJP.
know that we have time for all of that, but
no, but we got time for some of it. And here is Peter Ducey asking her a tough question.
Is President Biden thinking about pulling his support for the Inflation Reduction Act?
Oh.
No.
Because he promised it wasn't going to raise taxes on anybody making less than $400,000 a year, but the Joint Committee on Taxation says that is not true.
Well, that isn't correct.
That is incorrect.
The Joint Committee on Taxation, which you guys heralded as an effective body when you were selling that infrastructure package, is not to be trusted here.
I love Peter Ducey. I love this man.
Why don't you marry him?
I would if I could. If I wouldn't be a polygamist for marrying him as well. Do I have to divorce Jackie to marry Peter Ducey?
No.
Okay, then yes, I'll marry him.
What kind of world do you think we live in?
I think we live in a world where polygamy is illegal for some reason. Everything else is free game. Everything else is completely free and fair. But not marrying two people. That we draw the line on that.
Well, you just let him move in.
Why? I thought love is love.
Just
Why?
have him. Amen. Just have him move in.
Yeah.
Why you want to marry him?
We'll get to her answer in a minute because I think we've run out of time with all our shenanigans here. But Peter Ducey, every day, you know what?
I know.
That is hard. That's hard to look her in the face even though she sucks. But notice how few people do it. It's Peter Ducey, maybe once in a while, one other person. Maybe John Carl will ask a tough question from time to time.
And he still does it with Biden, too.
But he does it with Biden. He does it with KJP. And he does it every day, day after day.
He's earning that paycheck, that's for sure, man.
He sure is. Man, he's turned out to be great. Maybe the best White House press guy ever.
Pretty strong.
Yeah, super strong. So we'll hear what KJP had to say about this whole thing coming up here.
Because she's
awesome. She's terrific. Oh, my gosh. Could they have found a worse White House spokesperson? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know. What's Potato Head doing now?
Don't think they haven't considered it.
I know.
I'll bet they have. Yeah, Brian Stelter, the next
he could be the guy.
White House press secretary. 888-900-3393. More coming up.
Pat Gray returns on the Blaze Radio Network.
Let's try to help us navigate through this upside-down world of madness. It's hard to describe. It's so crazy right now.
It is.
That stuff from yesterday with the loan debt forgiveness, I can't take it. I just can't. The lies and the attitude of this president who just frankly hates half of Americans in this country. He hates them.
I believe that.
If you're Republican, if you're conservative, if you are successful, he hates your guts. And as much as he said he was going to be a uniter, do you remember that?
Oh.
Wow.
I think that was what he ran on.
Has anybody
to
been
become
more
president.
divisive than Joe Biden?
No.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. And then you've got KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, answering or trying to answer Peter Doocy's question yesterday. Let's go back to the beginning because he just boldly and bravely asks these tough questions and she can't answer them. She stumbles around with her great big book of everything,
yeah.
but can't answer the question.
Is President Biden thinking about pulling his support for the Inflation Reduction Act?
No.
Because he promised it wasn't going to raise taxes on anybody making less than $400,000 a year, but the Joint Committee on Taxation says that is not true.
Well, that is incorrect.
Oh.
So the Joint Committee on Taxation, which you guys heralded as an effective body when you were selling that infrastructure package, is not to be trusted here.
Right, but Peter, that's only when they agree with us. Okay, well, that's only when they're doing what we tell them or answering questions the way we like them to. They go beyond that, then we don't like them and they're not legitimate anymore. But he's asking the question because they have praised this organization over and over again. Here's her response, though.
I said it is not correct because I'll give you why it's not correct, because it is incomplete. The JCT report that we're currently seeing is incomplete because it omits the actual benefits that Americans would receive when it comes to prescription drugs, when it comes to the lowering energy costs like utility bills. It does not include.
Okay, you're talking about two different things here. Peter is talking about taxes going up for people who make under $400,000. You're talking about other items here where they just might save money. That's not the same thing as not getting it. Just because grocery prices, if they did came down, that doesn't negate the tax increase you gave people. How are you conflating those two? Bizarre.
Do that, and we have some experts. Don't have to trust me. We have experts that say the exact same.
And you're going to have experts on both sides of every single issue. And you can find some obscure moron who says, yeah, I agree with you guys. Oh, whoa, wow. Really?
Democracy is trending down. I mean, up.
Kimberly Clausen from UCLA. Many key factors are left out in these tables, including, importantly, the effect of deficit reduction, the positive effects of the spending on clean energy, and the benefits from low drug prices. As I just stated,
doesn't negate it. None of that negates the tax increase. None of it.
Republicans don't mention that JCT analysis includes an imputation of corporate taxes, i.e. the 15% minimum on corporations with less than $1 billion of profits to income groups,
She's reading
does
this
not
garbage.
include the major
absolutely.
benefit people, including the tax
she
cuts and drug savings, prescription drug savings to be specific.
So Penn Wharton, where the president used to, University of Pennsylvania used to be a professor there. Penn Wharton budget model says this Inflation Reduction Act is actually going to increase inflation in 2024.
Okay, what does Penn Wharton know?
Nothing.
That's only the most respected business school in America.
Well, not anymore.
What do they know?
Because Trump went there.
Oh, right. That's true.
So we agree with Senator Manchin. You heard him a couple of times yesterday, and disagree with Penn Wharton as do a number of qualified.
Oh, okay. So you're going to choose to listen to Joe Manchin over Ivy League Penn Wharton Business School. Oh,
okay.
All right.
Experts, which I'm happy to read out. But I do want to say that it is quite ironic that
I can't do it. Oh, okay. That's agonizing.
I mean,
but we have another clip, right?
We do, where and Peter Doocy again continues talking about those student loan handouts.
Okay,
which is really good. Yeah, go ahead.
House briefing right now.
If you look at the end of this coming end of the fiscal year, $1.7 trillion that we have deduced, brought down the deficit. That matters. That matters. And if you look at the Inflation Reduction Act, it's going to add another $300 billion. Is going to bring down the deficit again.
Pause it.
Anyway, spend $300.
It's so nonsensical that you don't even know how to respond to it. You know, she's throwing up so much gobbledygook that you don't even know where to go with it. What are you babbling about? Should be his next question. Can you stop with the mouth diarrhea? Just give me an answer, will you?
She can't, though.
She can't.
She can't.
Do
we know what is it? Impugn or imputate or what? Amputate? Whatever.
Yeah.
What word did she use? I mean, I know what amputate is.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just looked it up, and it's.
That's what I thought. That's what I was
yeah, it had to do with somebody saying something undesirable.
Oh, okay.
About what you said. It's an actual word. I don't know that I've ever heard it before.
I use it daily.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, well, that's me.
If you use it today more than 3 times in a row, you own it.
Okay.
That word will then belong to you. Okay. That's how seldom it's used. All right. Let's see what else, what she had to say here.
$100 to $900 billion extra. So you can do that and not.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What we are trying to do here.
Right there is basically Peter saying, "What are you babbling about?"
Yeah, it is.
I mean, he ought to just say that.
Right.
He ought to just say it.
Right. You just put a whole bunch of words together that don't mean a thing.
Talking about.
You just sat there rambling random words for 30 seconds.
Okay,
all right, let's see it.
We are doing this responsibly. You heard directly from the president. This is something that is going to be important for middle-class Americans. When you think about 90% of the folks who are going to actually benefit from this are making $75,000 or less, and you think about what Republicans did just a couple of years ago, they signed off on a $2 trillion tax cut for the wealthy and did not provide any way.
The continual lie that the $2 trillion was just for the wealthy when every single person who works, who has income, got a tax cut. Everybody got a tax cut. Plus, that $2 trillion is not yours to begin with. It's ours. So it didn't cost you anything.
They don't believe that.
They don't believe
for
that.
1 second.
And that shows you what Marxists they are. Because a tax cut to them is you're taking their money.
Yeah.
No, Puddin', you're just taking less of ours. Don't you understand that? That is not your money. It's ours. Wow, this is agonizing.
I don't want to hear any more of this.
Yeah.
Because we got one more clip from her that I want to play. And this is where they're excited about the new $13.6 billion to Ukraine. The new $3 billion deal to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And when asked about it, I just want you to pay attention to how when they first ask her about it, she starts, got to get to the great big book of everything immediately. It's awesome.
All right, let's see.
On Ukraine, the most recently announced weapons package, I understand that those weapons have to be built. They're not in a stockpile already. What is the range, therefore, in kind of estimated time they could actually be delivered to Ukraine?
No, it's a great question. I think what you saw us announce, the $3 billion from...
That's a great question because she doesn't even have to think about it. You're not challenging her in any way. It's just blah, 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 blah.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
I'll keep asking my question while you continue to look it up in your great big book of everything.
Yeah, this should be a lesson to everybody out. Ask me really easy, ridiculous questions like that, and I'll go ahead and answer them.
That's a great question.
Could actually be delivered to Ukraine?
No, it's a great question. I think you saw us announce the $3 billion from folks who are not tracking, which a new package, which is the largest one at once trench that we've announced from this administration.
No, it's not.
We have announced approximately $13.6 billion, just to give a little bit of context there. Security assistance for Ukraine since the beginning.
We talked about this yesterday too.
It's
keep
way
touting
more
the
than that.
$13.6 billion. But
we're close to $100 billion.
I thought so too.
Yeah, very probably over $100 billion. They did a $40 billion package in one fell swoop. What is she talking about? Remember that?
Yes.
It wasn't that long ago when we did a $40 billion bill for them.
I can't. Go ahead.
All right.
This administration back in January of 2021, an unprecedented amount that is roughly 3 times what Ukraine's annual military budget is. But to your point, this is through the Ukrainian security assistance. This announcement represents the beginning of a contracting process through which DoD will acquire additional capabilities to provide to Ukraine's armed forces. This is different than the presidential drawdown authorities that you've heard us announce. So it means that some of this acquiring Ukraine will take some time, to your point. I don't have a specific timeline for this. I would refer you to the Department of Defense. But this announcement is part of our efforts to ensure Ukraine's military can continue to defend its people and also defend its freedom and defend its right to be a sovereign country.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, in May, we gave $40 billion.
Right. Okay.
That's now I'm gonna. That's just.
Yes.
Go ahead. Back to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find more.
$40 billion, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've given them so much every week. $750 million, $3 billion here, $4 billion there, $600 million more there. Almost every week, we've announced at least
it's amazing
one new giant giveaway to them. All right, let me tell you about Moink. Moink is moo and oink put together. So you get your pork, you get your beef. Moink. Do you know that 60% of U.S. pork production comes from one company owned by the Chinese, and their hogs are given something called ractopamine, which is banned in just 160 countries, including China. But you find it in your grocery store every day. But there's a better way, and that's Moink. Moink farmers farm like our grandparents did. And because of that, Moink meat tastes like it should, because a family farm does it better. This is delicious stuff. I love it when that Moink box arrives at my door.
Oh, my gosh.
So good.
Me too.
Fantastic bacon, the best you've ever had. Delicious, tender steaks. The pork is fantastic. You're going to love it. Give it a try. Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary called Moink's bacon the best bacon he's ever tasted.
So is Jeff Fisher from Chewing the Fat. Hello.
As well as Pat Gray from Pat Gray Unleashed. So keep American farming going by signing up at moinkbox.com/unleashed right now. Listeners to this show get free filet mignon in every order for a year.
Nice.
Free filet mignon for an entire year? That's 1 year of the best filet mignon you'll ever taste, but for a limited time. It's spelled MOINK, moinkbox.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
All right, I'm up to about $54 billion. By
what?
the end of May.
Okay,
by the end of May.
Just by the end of May, it was $54 billion. Holy cow.
Come on now. And they keep telling $13 billion.
So where do they come up with, this is the largest package?
I don't know. It
just shows how much they lie.
It's got to be, well, yes.
There's a way they're finessing it, though, you think?
It's got to be what we talked. What I mentioned yesterday. I bet you it's.
They're setting aside legislation from what the executive office is just doing willy-nilly because they want to.
That could be.
Maybe it's that. I don't know.
And also, with this is specifically earmarked for weapons. I think and aid. So I don't know. I honestly I don't know. I don't know how they're getting.
Yeah, I don't know how they parse it, but it's a lie. It just comes down to they're lying.
It's just impossible.
Yeah, and we talked yesterday about how corrupt things are in Ukraine. There's no oversight. Shouldn't there at least be American oversight? If we're going to do this, let's make sure the dollars, the money, the weapons are getting to the places we want them to go. And that's the front lines so they can fight off the Russians. But as Ukrainian soldiers begin to speak out more and more, and it gets out over the internet, we're finding out that, some of these guys are driving their own cars in the war and using them as war vehicles. They're getting shot up and blown up. And then when they don't run anymore, they're being told, yeah, you're going to have to fix that and get it back into the war with your own money, by the way.
Yeah, we can't help you.
They don't even have car shield. So, I mean,
Well, he was having a tough time getting online. He couldn't get a hold of Cigar Shield.
Right. Okay. That's understandable.
Well.
But the corruption is such that apparently the money goes over there and it stays with whoever opens the mail.
I guess so.
Because they're not getting it to the soldiers.
I believe that I want to be Postmaster General in Ukraine. I'll tell you that, if it stays with who opens the mail.
No kidding. All right. 888-900-3393. It's unconscionable what we're doing. And apparently, it's not that nobody cares, just not enough people in the right places care to really do something about it. Here we are in dire straits in the middle of a recession where they're talking about food shortages, perhaps getting much worse by the end of the year, beginning of next. And we're still just sending money out.
Incredible.
There's no tomorrow. We're spending like drunken sailors, and it just doesn't matter to anybody. So we're sending all of this money. It's just for looks, because they can say now, well, look at all this aid we've sent to Ukraine. We're really committed to democracy. We're really committed to helping these poor people fight off that evil Russian bear. Really? Well, then maybe you should make sure that the money is going to where it's supposed to go.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would. Instead, it's lining the pockets of the hierarchy in Ukraine.
I mean, we've only given, like $1 billion so far.
No, I think it's less than that. I think it's like $150 or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah, it's not much at all.
On the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, everybody. A beautiful morning in the morning time. Traffic and weather together every 8 minutes on the 7s. All morning long. Good morning. Hey, we're going to talk about which gigantic grocery store chain do you like better, Sam's Club or Costco? That's coming up. Okay, we're not really going to, but wouldn't it be fun to be frivolous again like that? You remember in the early 2000s, you even after the war in Iraq, there were still days when there was really nothing going on. That you had
my gosh,
nothing pressing, and so you just screwed around. Those days are apparently not coming back. I don't know. It's I'm worried about that. We may not have much time for frivolity.
Okay.
But we keep pushing on.
I don't know. I kind of prefer Sam's over Costco. But,
do you? You like Sam's Club better than Costco?
For a while, I didn't have I had both cards.
All right.
And then I let the Costco card slide.
Oh no.
That's when I started borrowing keys all the time when I wanted. They sell a product that I purchase, and Costco has it in store.
It's weird because sometimes they'll be exclusive. The items that you really like and need and want, it's either at Sam's or Costco, but not both. But other than that, they're almost exactly the same.
Almost exactly the same. And so then my wife realized that there was still some sort of credit left on the Costco card, and decided that, along with that credit, we could just pay the extra and have a Costco card too.
Huh. And so that's what you're doing now?
But why would we pay the extra to have a card with? But we did.
But you did.
We did.
Okay, good. I was worried about your Costco experience. I really was. I woke up in a cold sweat the other night thinking, oh my gosh, does he have a Costco card?
I do now.
So it's good to know. I can rest easy now. Got some tweets. Rowdy Introvert tweets, yeah, KJP is great. She doesn't answer any questions. But other than that, she's awesome. Jeffy Anity, the Chew Testament, tweets exactly, because anything that diminishes the government's role or relevance just doesn't make sense. It's infuriating. Sasquatch Cougar fan, KJP is speaking in gibberish talk. I hear English, but the delivery is gibberish and doesn't make sense. The language of Marxism. Yep. And from Carl Smith, How can Putin's invasion of Ukraine be responsible for the price increases in America? But Sweden and Finland wanting to join NATO is because of Joe Biden's great leadership. That's the thing. They have this
the thing.
Every way they possibly can. It seriously is agonizing. This from Bigfoot Poxku. The government would prefer they seize 100% of your income and that you spend 100% on government allowance to survive.
Oh, yeah.
They would.
Absolutely. And I know from blah, 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 how convenient is it for Joe Biden to bail out the colleges that indoctrinate the students to turn around and vote for socialists like Joe Biden?
Yeah, that's
great. And he actually did
Great
talk
point.
about how K through 12 wasn't enough. I mean, that indoctrination is continuing. I mean, they're dumping money into pre-K and the colleges. Mm-hmm. I mean, they want it all.
Well, Dr. Mojo Martian tweets, is it fair to those who couldn't afford college and couldn't get a loan? Is it fair to people who went into debt because of lost income during their shutdowns? No, but talking about that doesn't get them any votes. It's true.
No, it does not.
You know, even the left is pissed off at him because this didn't go far enough. They wanted it all.
Yeah.
Just forgive all loan debt, all student loan debt gone. Oh, well, yeah, that would be nice for you, wouldn't it? For you.
For you, yes,
For
absolutely.
Us, who are actually paying for it, not so much. Doesn't make any sense. But at least we know where we stand now with these people, and hopefully it's going to wake American voters up. It's going to wake up conservatives who too often think, my vote doesn't matter anyway, so I'm just going to stay home. Nah, I'm not that excited about this particular candidate, so I'm just going to stay home. You can't. It is so critical this time. And we say it all the time, and others say it all the time. This is the most important election of all time. But this time, it's true. And it's been true in the past. There are just all elections are critical, but especially this time, Republicans must regain control of Congress, at least to slow things down a little bit, so that we can survive until 2024 and we can do something about this hideous president. The worst in the history of the world.
Boy, no kidding.
Jeez. All right. Just to illustrate the total breakdown of American society, have you seen this video of the 7-Eleven flash mob? Wow. Is it amazing? Here's what happened. With that, I don't know, what is it, 100 people, I think, took over the 7-Eleven, stole everything, and left.
In and out. Parking lot, in and out, behind everything.
Yep. I mean, look at this. Just help yourselves, everybody. Yeah, don't worry about it.
No,
and there they are then.
Yeah.
Look at all the cars that parked there, and everybody showed up at once. Everybody left at once. What do you do for that?
Yeah, you can't do anything.
And
I've gone through something similar to that in the past.
Yeah.
When I worked at Winn-Dixie in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I mean, I have. When I worked at Winn-Dixie in Florida in downtown St. Petersburg, one of the first Martin Luther King Day parades ended in front of our store, like down by the Tropicana Field. At the time, it was Tropicana Field, where the Rays, I don't even think there were the Rays yet. I don't think there was a baseball team yet. Build it, and they will come. And there was a crowd that came into the store like that, and that was before, obviously videos and everything else. Not everyone had phones, but I mean, they just took what they wanted and left. I just came in, and again, you asked the question, what do you do?
Yeah,
you do nothing.
Yeah,
you do nothing.
There's nothing you can do.
You gradually lock the doors until there's only one door for the crowd to get out, and then lock it. Lock it down.
Let's see the beginning of this, though. But when they flow in like this,
I mean, you can't. There's nothing you can do.
What are you supposed to? It's too late to lock the doors.
Right.
I mean, you're calling police, no doubt, but they're not going to be there in 30 seconds.
No way.
And the other thing you notice is the sheer unadulterated white supremacy on display here. All these Caspers. You know, the Caspers who are the most dangerous people in our democracy. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't have any idea what you do about that, except just close down your store and not have a location there.
Well, and then you get hollered at. 7-Eleven is going to get hollered at for closing down their stores. In that neighborhood. Providing a food desert.
Right. That's right. So you can't win.
You can't. I mean, Starbucks is closed. Starbucks is under fire. They've closed down. Get this. They've got 200. I talked about this on Chewing the Fat, and it's agonizing to me. Mm-hmm. They are under fire because they've got stores that are unionizing. They're not really, they're not a fan of the unions.
And they closed those stores.
They did. Here's the deal.
Right.
See, that's not true. They closed 2 stores.
2 stores, I know.
They have 220 that unionized. They closed 2 stores out of safety concerns. Now, is that just an excuse because they were unionizing? Maybe. But they still have 220 stores that are unionized. So, I mean, it isn't like they're shutting them all down.
Okay.
Well, they can't, Jeff. They're not going to close down 220 stores. You know what? If I'm Starbucks and I don't want you to be union, I shut them all down.
So 220 of Starbucks stores are unionized and the rest are not, right? How many stores do they have overall? Like 3,000? 5,000?
8 million.
Is it 8 million? That's a lot of stores, Jeffy. No wonder you see them on every corner. That's a lot.
Probably pretty close.
A lot of stores. Huh. Also, we have to show you this unbelievable clip from Justin Trudeau talking about installing weapons armories and interrogation rooms for their Ministry of Climate Change in Canada. What? Architectural plans have been leaked revealing Trudeau's sinister plan to weaponize the climate change agenda. The Ministry of Environment and Climate Change Canada is building a new facility in Winnipeg that will be home to a firearms armory, interrogation rooms, biological labs, media relations offices, and controlled quiet rooms for when people get triggered, and they're feeling stressed over climate change. They can go into one of these rooms and just have a safe, quiet space where they can exist. Isn't that nice? Oh, plus they're going to have intelligence facilities at your climate change ministry. What? What is that? That is something else.
Is this the Ministry of Truth Building? Is that what you called this?
It sounds like it. It sounds exactly like that. Down the hall from the proposed firearms storage rooms are several evidence rooms, interrogation suites, and adjacent recording rooms.
Interrogation suites.
Suites, yeah. Who are you interrogating, and about what? Sorry, did you drive your car last week? Yeah. Did you drive it both to work and from work back to home? Yes. That's a round trip, carbon spewing trip of 5 miles. So sorry.
But it says on your odometer you went 8 miles. Where else did you go?
I mean, this is getting so out of control. According to a recently posted Indeed.com ad, the ministry is searching to recruit a battalion of climate pollution officers, a unit within the coldly named Environmental Enforcement Directorate. Does this not sound Orwellian?
Sure does.
If you emit too much carbon or use too much fertilizer, you may just be on the climate communist hit list. The entire facility that was leaked to the counter signal is sketched to be over 50,000 square feet. It will house hundreds of staff.
Well, yeah. I mean, a battalion is at least 1,000.
It's a lot, yeah. And it'll be all home to weather forecasting staff. So that's good. Because, every climate ministry, needs, obviously, a weather forecasting staff.
Love that. They get their own green screen? I'm a fan.
I don't know. They didn't mention the green screen. But they have everything else. Jeez. Trudeau's climate police may enter any project location that affects the environment to take photographs, access computer systems and communication devices, and, quote, direct any person to put any machinery, vehicle, or equipment in the place into operation or to cease operating it. Climate police can come to your business and shut it down, in other words, in Canada. Now, before you say, well, that's Canada, why do I care? It's just a precursor to what's coming here. When we see how well that works, you got to believe.
Joe Biden doesn't want to do that now?
Absolutely, he does. No question. Wow. I really feel, as bad as things are getting here, I really feel for Canadians and Australians because they're losing their country quickly.
They sure are.
Trudeau's government recently announced a policy to reduce the use of fertilizer on Canadian farms by 30%. And the policy has been widely criticized by farmers across the country.
You think?
Yeah. Stop your whining, okay? Stop your whining. Told you this before.
I believe that was his response.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. You selfish, miserable pigs.
I mean, that's what Macron says in France, too.
It is. Yeah, well, and they're telling the farmers that in Denmark, was it? Was it where the farmers are spreading sewage and fertilizer all over the place to make a point? That's so great. Awesome. All right, let me tell you.
It's not my area.
Right, that's exactly the point. Let me tell you about Rough Greens. If you're a dog owner, you know how much your dog means to you. They're part of the family. And you want them to be happy and healthy and active. And they can be now that there's Rough Greens. You just sprinkle this dog food supplement on top of the food that you always feed your dog. And that puts into your dog's food all the vitamins and minerals and probiotics, antioxidants that your dog needs to be active and happy and healthy. Most dogs go crazy for it. My dog wouldn't eat her food without it on top. And so if you want to be sure that your dog loves it as well, so you don't waste a whole big bag of it, Rough Greens is willing to send you a trial bag just to try out with your dog for a couple of days, and all you have to pay is shipping. Just go to roughgreens.com, ruffgreens.com, or call 833-783-3364.
Pat Gray is here.
I am. Welcome. Great to have you here, too. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Jeffy's yellow toenail clippings tweets this.
I'm selling, by the way.
The slight Indian accent thing caused that 7-Eleven flash mob, didn't it? Well, yeah. Yes. I mean, that could be it.
Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
No, I know you're not. You're an actual racist.
Though,
that was Delaware.
The flash mob was not in Delaware.
I think that was Los Angeles, wasn't it? Okay, so, yeah, I guess you can't conflate
listen,
the two.
and I am continually, and I don't know why I am anymore, but I'm continually shocked at the difference between Joe Biden.
Oh, okay, yeah. From like 2008 when that happened till now.
Now?
Oh, it's something else, yeah. Yeah, he's not the same guy. He should not be president. Maybe you haven't noticed. I think there's reason to say he shouldn't be president. Isn't that something?
Have you said that before? Or is this
I can't imagine saying something that outrageous, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe when I was caught unawares, not really focused.
Okay.
From Nancy, has there ever been a time with so many criminals on camera committing so many crimes and our jails less full? Well,
I don't know about that.
Yeah. From the Steve 42, that's not a flash mob. It's a Democrat socialist justice rally.
Oh.
It is a social justice rally. That's
for
exactly
sure.
what that is.
That is for sure. That is for sure. And by the way, I was off a little. Starbucks does not have 8 million stores.
Okay.
All right.
It only has
worldwide.
I'm going to say 14,000.
Worldwide.
Yes.
33,833 stores. worldwide. In the U.S., 15,000.
Wow.
15,000 in the U.S.
Is that the most of any chain? I wonder how many locations are there for McDonald's?
Ooh.
Probably eclipses that, right? Probably well eclipses. Although you have to, I think a McDonald's franchise is like $1 million to obtain. And that was a figure I knew a long time ago. It's probably double that now.
Right. Yeah. Well, heck yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's there's a pretty penny.
In other world leader news, we were just talking about Justin Trudeau. Finland's 36-year-old female prime minister had herself quite a party, and her country is in uproar about it now. Finland's under pressure party Prime Minister Sanna Marin gave a tearful speech yesterday defending herself after a string of wild leaked photos and videos. She had this big party. I think it started in one place, ended at her house.
Well, they went to some performance, some club, and then they ended up back at her place. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Not go back home?
Not go back home and drink and do some blow? No, of course, not her. She was not doing blow. And that's true because she took a drug test.
She did take a drug test to prove it.
And it was negative.
They couldn't fix the prime minister's drug test?
That's impossible.
Okay.
That's impossible.
Right, so she's clean.
Yeah.
She's clean.
Other people,
whatever.
And other people weren't doing blow either because she said she's never been at a party where people have done blow.
So
or done drugs of any kind.
The video that has audio of people behind her
talking about doing drugs. With the drug slang.
The flower gang is here.
They just like to talk about it. They don't really do it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Plus,
all right.
Plus, there were some shots of two of her female friends that were seen topless.
Oh yeah.
Kissing each other.
Yeah, and they had
making out.
They had the Finland sign from her desk in front of them.
Oh, they put that across there.
Yeah, she's a
breasts.
model. She's an Instagram
big deal in
influencer,
Finland. Yeah. And so Sanna Marin, the prime minister, said, "I am human, and I too sometimes long for joy, light, and fun amidst these dark clouds.
Right.
It's private. It's joy." And it's life.
Right.
But I haven't missed a single day of work.
She said that in
her
native tongue, however.
Oh, so it was just
awesome.
gibberish.
Yeah.
So how did anybody know what she was saying?
I don't know.
I think they just made it up.
It's possible. There were words on the screen while she was speaking that I could read. That was it.
So this mother of one, she is married, 36 years old, one of the world's
she was voted
youngest
in at
leaders.
34.
Wow. Yeah. So now she's fighting off claims from opponents that she's immature and not in full control of running Finland and should be ousted.
Oh, please.
Others say she's the victim of a double standard because the behavior of older male politicians is rarely commented on. Now, that I don't buy.
I don't either.
If that was a 36-year-old man or whatever who's married and partying like that, that would be an issue,
Absolutely.
too. People would be talking about it.
Absolutely. But that's not the first time, right? She got into trouble during the lockdown phases of COVID, where she was out partying at a bar and not wearing a mask and not being social distance and partying. Yeah.
Was she prime minister at the time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wow.
And she apologized. Oh, I just went out having fun, and it was okay.
You imagine Joe Biden's out partying, getting down with his bad self.
With his bad self.
He's out on the beach in Rehoboth in Delaware, and they're just having a great time. He's pounding down some brewskis.
Hunter there?
Hunter's with him. He's doing blow off the stomach of hookers. And, they're just generally having fun. They're having joy. All right?
In these dark times.
I mean, it's private, it's joy, it's life. How many days of work has Joe Biden made? Can you imagine? I don't think you survive that here.
Maybe. I don't know.
Of course, Biden,
I know
being
Biden
a
probably.
Democrat,
yes, Biden
he might survive it. Trump would not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No way.
So there was a TV personality, Sabina Sarka, I guess, who's a big deal in Finland, and Natalia Kallio. They were the ones who lifted their tops to bare their torsos and covered their breasts with a sign that says, Finland.
Yeah, that's from her desk. It's from when she does her TV hits and stuff. She has that Finland sign.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, she said, I spent the evening with friends, partied pretty wild, yes, danced and sang. So
she did, man.
Leave her alone.
She was having a good time.
She says, yeah, I did alcohol, but I don't use drugs, and I've never been around anybody who's used drugs. That's why I say the drug thing is just not right.
I find that
it's just not true. Not true, Jeff.
Like she's turned a blind eye.
More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray returns.
Yes!
On the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. During the break, a little Jeffy interlude occurred. I don't know if do you hear that on Blaze Radio?
That's Blaze
but not
Radio.
Blaze
That's
TV.
Blaze Radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a place in the segment where you were talking about zoos and that.
Well, I was just reminding the audience that no one supports zoos more than Jeff Fisher and chewing the fat.
Really? Is that a thing? That's a thing that Jeff Fisher and chewing the fat.
No one supports zoos.
Nobody supports zoos more than you.
That's a fact.
And your show.
Worldwide.
Huh. Worldwide?
Worldwide.
No one.
Worldwide. No one supports zoos more than
because nobody supports aquariums more than the Pat Gray Unleashed show.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to jump on that bandwagon?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
No one supports aquariums.
Now, I will
more
say
than this
that
show.
There are some zoos and aquariums attached around the world.
That's true.
So, but we could, partner up and do a little fundraising campaign.
Yes, we could.
Okay.
Yes, we could. You know what would make the zoos and aquariums even better is if they sold Kexi cookies there.
Okay. I'm a fan.
But as it is, they don't. And so you got to go to Kexi.com. That's KEKSI.com to purchase the most delicious cookie on the face of the planet.
To be honest, I think you could make a case that they need to feed the animals Kexi cookies.
Okay. Yes. I'm not opposed to that at all. You can exclusively feed them Kexi cookies. Pretty sure it'd be good for them as well.
I mean, I don't know what kind of ad campaign with the orangutans eating Kexi cookies, but I'm a fan. I think I could become a fan.
Also, tomorrow, we've got a brand new cookie that debuts, and it's the Lord of the Rings cookie, which tomorrow we're going to tell you what flavor that is. You are going to love it. Delicious. But
am I personally going to love it?
Yes, I think you personally will. But I can't say anything more until tomorrow. We'll discuss it tomorrow. But
why are you breaking some sort of cookie law?
Yes, there is very strict cookie law.
Really?
Yeah. Where my son told me not to talk about it until tomorrow.
What would happen if you were to, I don't know.
Pocatello, Idaho would fall into a sinkhole, and I don't want that to happen. So
I mean,
and I'm not sure why.
With the exception of the Pocatello Zoo, I don't care.
Wow, there's a lot of good people in Pocatello. You don't care about them? That's sad. But speaking of Lord of the Rings and the cookie, did you know that I think the series starts
pretty soon, right?
Tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
Pretty soon. Might be. Maybe
I think that's why the cookie
ties
comes
in
out.
with the cookie.
That's what I'm thinking. Have you seen the previews for that?
Aren't you part of the meetings? Aren't you part of the promotion fee?
I'm wandering around while they're yapping about it. Like, shut up. I'm trying to concentrate over here. But you're not a big Lord of the Rings fan, are you?
Yeah.
Have you even seen the movies?
Yeah.
You have? No, you have not, have you?
It's awful.
You've never seen all three movies?
I've seen some of it.
Are you kidding? That's it?
I've seen some of it off and on.
Wow. Why are we friends? It's just really weird. But this apparently starts way before, the Rings saga. So it's like way back and the, what do they call it? The Silmarillion?
Oh.
The, from J.R. Tolkien. And I think that's what it's based on. And it's supposed to be really good.
I mean, they love we're into the prequels of the big series now. That's for sure. I mean, we've got the House of the Dragon, which is awesome. I liked
Game of Thrones.
I liked it a lot.
Offshoot.
Yeah, it's 300 years before Game of Thrones.
300 years? Really?
Yeah, I think it's at least 300 years before Game of Thrones.
So it's already out?
Yeah, it started last week.
Is the whole series or
no? One a week on HBO Max. They only got about 10 million viewers for episode one. They were pretty happy at HBO Max.
I'm guessing. Yeah. Didn't that break an HBO record?
Yes, it did.
10 million viewers. That's something else.
For their premiere episode, yeah.
Network shows.
I enjoyed it. A lot of people, there were a number of people that frowned upon it, but I thought it was
really?
Cool. Yeah.
Why?
It's the patriarchy and the whole women.
The patriarchy.
They thought, yeah.
So they were realistic in that time period. Sorry, they weren't woke back in
less
1412.
so. I mean, they tried to make it as woke as they could. Jeez.
And it wasn't woke enough.
I wasn't woke enough.
That's great. All right, that's great. It's never ending. It's just never.
They were angry because the queen was pregnant, and the queen.
Oh, and it should have been the king. The king should have been pregnant.
Yes, it should have been the king.
Yeah,
the queen was pregnant, and then they had to make a decision whether the baby was breached, and the king had to make a decision whether to save the baby or the mom.
And
the king wants his son.
Wow. Okay.
So,
all right.
it's an impossible decision.
So it was a pro-life situation.
It's an impossible situation, but the wife's going to go. Okay, because I want my son.
And did the wife go?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They showed it.
Spoiler alert. Sorry if you're waiting to see that, but...
it aired Sunday. Get over it.
So if you didn't watch it that minute, and in that time period, sorry, all bets are off.
You can go back and watch it. It doesn't ruin the scene. It was an awesome scene.
No, it kind of does.
And it's not a full spoiler because I'm not telling you the entire process of the scene.
Okay.
And what actually happens.
And what's the name of it again?
House of the Dragon.
All right. And it's on HBO.
HBO
Max. Okay. 888-900-3393. Did you see they've got election deniers? Well, that's what they call it in the on Bloomberg, or I don't know what service I was reading. I think it was Bloomberg. But election deniers go door to door after losses was the headline. They're trying to. They don't believe that in Kansas they would not vote for the pro-life bill that they just had.
Okay.
And so they're trying to see if people cheated, and they're actually going door to door to find out how people voted.
You mean that they're talking about election fraud?
Yeah, I know.
What?
It's not even election fraud. It's election deniers, because it's their way of tying people who had a problem with the election into being Holocaust deniers.
Oh, my God.
Because that's where that comes from. Otherwise, what are you calling them deniers for? That's just stupid. Election deniers, climate deniers, science deniers. It's despicable.
It sure is.
But my thing is, if they insist, maybe we should throw it right back in their faces.
Absolutely.
After all, they are human life deniers. Speaking of being pro-life, they won't admit that that's human life growing inside a womb.
Today's the day in Texas too, right?
Yeah.
Today's the
We'll see.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I think today's the day where abortion is no more.
Right. Well, isn't that
Not
being challenged
be.
in court? But we'll see what happens there. But there's of course, human life deniers. There are biology deniers.
Yep.
Can't even tell you what a woman is.
Right.
They're inflation deniers. They're Afghanistan withdrawal disaster deniers. They're border deniers. They're vaccine side effect deniers. They're senile deniers. They won't even admit that this guy who's in our face every day and shows us all the time that he's senile, they won't admit to that.
Well, I mean, you just said today, for the first time that I've heard, that this guy shouldn't be president. I mean,
right.
That's where we're at.
It just hit me. And, I thought I'd go out on that limb for a minute. Well, I'm going to do it again. He shouldn't be president. So there you go.
Okay.
But getting back to the election denier idiocy, they act as if they've never said a critical word about an election outcome ever.
Ever.
Have you noticed that? It's like
ever.
Only Republicans can be this crazy. Are you kidding me?
You're kidding me.
Rob, you were able to find it, I think, the montage of Democrats denying elections.
It's never ending.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
What?
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about.
Russian interference.
But rightly.
Sure.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you...
You election denier?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate?
Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
Unreal.
President-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
I have an objection. I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object because people are horrified.
He's an illegitimate president.
Do you believe Trump is a legitimate president?
What I believe is that there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by the Russian interference.
But there absolutely is a cloud of illegitimacy.
So that legitimacy is in question, yes.
So that was a very tainted election. And in that sense, it's illegitimate.
Why do you think the president is going to such great lengths to essentially prove that he beat you?
Because he knows he didn't. He knows he's an illegitimate
Amazing,
president.
isn't it?
Stolen emails, stolen drone, stolen election. Welcome to the world of unprecedented Trump.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract.
The Russian attempt to have the election, and frankly, the FBI is weighing in on the election. I think makes his election illegitimate.
There was a widespread understanding that this election was not on the level. We still don't know what really happened, Isaac. I mean, there's just a lot that I think will be revealed. History will
I got
discover.
it. I think we got it. That goes on for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
That's 10 minutes of election deniers in the Democrat Party.
I mean, Stacey Abrams has never conceded the governorship in Georgia.
That's right. That's all they do. If it doesn't go their way, they did it with Bush, too. If it doesn't go their way, he's selected, not elected. He's a fraud. He's illegitimate. That's amazing. Jeez. You know, even the Morning Cup of Postum with Joe and his main squeeze on MSNBC, even they pointed out the Democrat hypocrisy on election fraud.
Everybody is shocked and horrified that Donald Trump would suggest that he was going to wait, and that he's even used the words rigged. I heard people last night saying that he's the first person to ever do this, that this actually cuts at the very heart of America's credibility.
Well, there were so many incredible moments last night. Both of them came loaded to attack each other, and that we want to get to them all. But to this point, because there was a lot of reaction to this, it is the case that charges of a rigged or stolen election do not exclusively belong to Republicans.
Thank you.
Democrats and liberals have accused the vote of being rigged or stolen for George W. Bush, both in 2000 and 2004, and have done so for years.
Then they did it in
Jonathan
2016.
Chait wrote in New York Magazine in 2012,
Who
yes,
is
Bush
this?
v. Gore did steal the election. Also in 2012, Salon asked, is the GOP stealing Ohio? In 2014, Ezra Klein of Vox wrote that 68% of Americans think elections are rigged.
And he said they're right in that article.
2000, Jesse Jackson demanded an inquiry of the results in Florida, saying shortly after the election, 22,000 people are begging for their vote to count and for its intent to be realized. This last vote caused a crisis in the credibility of this election. This is a crisis of integrity. We, the American people, deserve better. We should settle for nothing less. In 2006, Rolling Stone published a lengthy article asking, was the 2004 election stolen? They also published an interview with Howard Dean, which said this. Howard said this: I'm not confident that the election in Ohio was fairly decided. We know that there was substantial voter suppression, and the machines were not reliable. It should not be a surprise that the Republicans are willing to do things that are unethical to manipulate elections. That's what we suspect has happened, and we'd like to safeguard our elections so that democracy can still be counted on to work. Later in that year, in October, Josh Marshall wrote about Ohio Secretary of State Ken Blackwell stealing the election. And a portion of Michael Moore's documentary, 2004, Fahrenheit 9/11, tried to delegitimize the 2000 results.
Selected, not elected.
And you know, also, as you said, at Willie's, we said coming on, there are several people in 2004. I mean, there are tons that you can get to, but in 2004, there were certain people around these parts that were going on TV every night MSNBC. Saying that Ohio was stolen.
Crazy. I mean, that is amazing.
That is.
That's one of the few common sense things ever heard on MSNBC with
Morning Cup of Postum.
Yeah, with the Morning Cup of Postum with Joe and his main squeeze. So don't tell me that this is unprecedented stuff or that the Republicans are so whacked out that they think there might have been a problem in 2020. They've done it every election since 2000 where the outcome went against what they wanted.
Wasn't to their liking.
Yeah. When it's them, when they're winning, election fraud is what are you talking about?
How dare you?
Conspiracy theorist. But if they lose, it's an illegitimate president, and he's not my president. Wow. All right, let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. Selling your home is a really big deal, and you need help. If you're not a realtor yourself, you're going to need some help in deciding what to do and how best to get your house ready to sell, because things are starting to turn against the home seller and go in favor of a home buyer. And by the way, you might be doing both of these things because you're relocating. You need a great realtor to do this. This is Glenn's company, and so when you have the kind of agents who work with us working for you, you can be assured that you're in the hands of a capable team. These agents will see your selling process through from the day you interview them until the moment you sign on the dotted line. You're going to love it. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Indeed.
So, you were mentioning about, we talked a little bit about our boy from Canada.
Trudeau.
Which is, I mean, he's awesome in the country of Canada. But I mentioned during there that Macron was talking about, we're talking about how they're losing freedoms in Canada.
Right.
They're losing freedoms in Australia. And in France, Macron, the cookie, I think that's how he pronounces his name. Is telling people, shut up, pretty much. Get over it. You get ready to suffer because this is the way it's coming. And and he decided that he was going to tell people that.
What we are living through is a time of great upheaval. Firstly, because we are witnessing, and not just since this summer, but over the past few years, the end of what we might have seen as abundance. And for those who enjoyed it, it is also the end of a carefree time.
Wait,
our freedom,
what?
the liberty to which we have grown accustomed to in our lives, has a price. And sometimes when we have to defend it, we have to make certain sacrifices as we fight to defend it.
The end of abundance.
The end of abundance.
The end
and the beginning of suffering. Wow. That's amazing.
That whole news report around that clip, I mean, that news station, and I'm guessing the entire clip that I saw was from that France 24, was incredible. You think CNN and MSNBC overall are bad. Mm-hmm. That France 24 clip around that Macron clip was unbelievable about climate change, about power, about food shortages, all of it. It was incredible. I mean,
whatever fits their agenda. They don't care about alarming people. They don't care about our youth. This climate change catastrophe stuff that they're talking about, where the world is going to end, I guess, as we know it in about 8 years now, because initially it was 10. Now I think we're about down to 8 or even 7 from all that hoopla a couple of years ago. But they don't even care that they're fear-mongering with our kids, and they've completely freaked out the youth of this nation.
Oh, heck yeah.
Many of them honestly believe that the world is about to end. unless we do something about climate change. What are you going to do to control the weather? Exactly. Well, we're going to spend trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
And we're going to have people starve.
Right.
Because we don't want them using fertilizer.
And we're going to bring the United States of America to its knees because it can't prosper in a global warming world. It can't because we need to cut them down to size. Okay?
I mean, that's...
You guys can't have everything you want.
They're working on it.
They sure are.
And they've come a long way toward it, I'll tell you that. A long way toward it. Now, you say 7 or 8 years, but California just said that they were going to prohibit the sale of new gasoline cars by 2035. So that's what, 12, 13 years away?
Yeah.
But that's by. I found that wording interesting. They were going to prohibit new gasoline cars by 2035. So maybe it is 7 years. Maybe they're just progress the timeline a little bit.
Well, there's no way that can happen. We're just not prepared for it. We don't have the infrastructure for it.
Saying that. We're just not going to sell them.
There's no infrastructure. There's no demand for it. Not enough, anyway. I mean, obviously, some people want electric vehicles, but not to the point where you can just completely transition to that right now.
I mean, Buttigieg is doing another round of talks today. I'm sure he's got everything under control.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
And they're just going to shut everything down. You're going to do it.
Right.
You're going to do it.
And you know what's interesting is all summer long we've had no hurricanes, right? No tropical storms, no
storms hitting
hurricanes.
The coast every day.
No,
what are you talking about?
No. I mean,
we're smack dab in the middle of hurricane season, and there's been nothing.
I think hurricane season starts June 1st.
June 1st.
So we're almost 3 months into it. And nothing.
Like I said, smack dab in the middle.
We're on the verge of an August with 0 named storms. Yeah. None. I'll say it again. We supposedly have catastrophic climate change happening right now, right? If the climate has changed, it's not a weather situation. It's the climate has changed. Then the more frequent, more intense storms they keep harping about should continually happen, right? There shouldn't be breaks in that cycle. They should just keep coming more often, more intense.
Right. I mean, that's what they claim.
If we're to believe the incredible bull crap that comes out of their mouths, every hurricane season should be more active and more severe than the last one.
Right.
Isn't that logical? What am I missing here? But they're trying desperately, because there's been no hurricanes, to finesse that into, it's still coming. We're still going to get hit hard. And don't worry about it. Yeah, disaster is coming. I want you to know.
Imminent.
Yes. The country may still be destroyed by hurricanes, one after another after another. In fact, Iowa may experience hurricanes this year. We're talking about a storm surge that takes out Des Moines.
Wow.
I mean, it's that's kind of stuff.
Of a storm.
The hallmark of the 2022 hurricane season so far has been uncharacteristic calmness. And the benign conditions might not change for the remainder of August. But
there's always a but. Of course, there's always a but with the hurricane season, because one
and there really is.
Yes, absolutely.
But they're bending over backwards because it doesn't look good for
Correct. Them. Doesn't come close. And of course, they all revise. That's what I love about hurricane predictions too. They give you the predictions at the beginning of the year, which is why I always say 8, 12, and 20. Eight major storms, 12 named storms, and 20 named storms, and then we could just revise it in the middle of the season.
And 3 of them will be.
Oh no, it's not going to be that.
Major.
Yeah.
They like to do that too, but they've already revised it in the middle, and they're still talking about the same number. It's unbelievable.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the one I saw a couple of weeks ago was they haven't happened yet, but they're still going.
Oh, that's
to.
what I mean. I don't think
worry
that's
about
going
it.
to happen.
Yeah. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up on Overtime. Join us for that.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.